All right, let's go over example 2, subtracting decimals. And this is part of chapter 2, section 4, adding and subtracting decimals. All right, so problem A says subtract 5.508 minus 3.174. Okay, steps for subtracting decimals over here on the right. Step 1 says the bigger number goes on top. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. 5.508 minus, step 2 says to line up the decimals, so we're going to go ahead and do that. 3.174. Okay, and then I'm going to make sure my decimal will be lined up in the answer, so everything stays in the same column. Draw my line there. Okay. All right. I don't like where my line is at. Oops, 174. Okay. So step 3 says to add zeros if needed. We don't need to do that because looking at our decimal place, we have 3 places to the right of the decimal for our first number, 1, 2, 3. And then we have 3 place values to the right of the decimal in our second number, 1, 2, 3, 174. Okay, so step 4 says to subtract from right to left. So on the far right, we have 8 minus 4, which is 4. And then we have 0 minus 7. Can we have 0 things and take away 7? We can't do that, so we need to borrow from the 5. So my 5 becomes a 4. And then my 0 becomes a 10. Okay, so now we have 10 minus 7. That's 3. And then 4 minus 1 is 3. Okay, and then last but not least, 5 minus 3 is 2. So there you have it, 2.334. Okay, let's try this again. Another problem here. I'm going to bring down my steps. Subtract 21.9 minus 1.605. Okay, step 1, bigger number goes on top, which would be the 21.9 minus, and I'm adding up the decimals here, 1.605. Just going to add my decimal down below for the answer. And bring my line down here. Okay, now I'll zoom in. All right. So see how my decimal places are, let me move this over a little bit, are almost exactly lined up, making sure that you do that as well in your notes and on your homework. Okay, step 3 says to add zeros if needed. What do you think? Do we need to add zeros? We do, because in our first number, 21.9, there's only one number to the right of the decimal, but in 1.605, there's 3 numbers. So we need to add 2 zeros to the top number. So now there's 3 decimals to the right in both of our numbers. Okay, subtract right to left. Okay, 0 minus 5, so that's just 5. 0 minus 0, well, that's 0. And then 9 minus 6, 9 things, take away 6 of them, that would be 3. Okay, then we have 1 minus 1, which is 0. Oops. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep my decimal lined up there. It's a little more difficult when you're typing. And then 2 minus nothing would be 2. Oh, I see what I did. I messed up. Did you see my error? Okay, can we have 0 things and take away 5 of them? We can't do that. So we have to borrow from our 9. why I double check your work. I didn't think that was right. So this 0 becomes a 10. And then we still need to give this first 0 a 10. So we're going to borrow from this 10 and it becomes a 9. And so finally this 0 becomes a 10. Okay, so now we have 10 things and we're going to take away 5 of them. So that gives us 5. 5. Okay, now 9 minus 0 is just 9. 8 minus 6 would be 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. And then 2 minus nothing would still be 2. Okay, that looks better. 20.295.